Right Honorable Francis Ejiroghene Waive was elected and inaugurated member representing Ueli Udu Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives in June 2019. Since then, it has become his practice to give an annual account of stewardship to the people of his constituency. And so it was at the end of the third legislative year on 10th June 2022. In his message to the people on the anniversary, Honorable Waive thanked the entire people of Ueli North, Ueli South and Udu Federal Constituency for the overwhelming support that he enjoyed. He noted that it is already established that in the matter of functional constituency office, presentation of petitions from constituents on the floor of the House, regular and quality attendance at House sittings and constituency briefings, as well as the core duties of lawmaking, oversight and representation, none of his predecessors match his record. According to Honorable Waive, he wants to give his constituents the opportunity to picture how they have been served as we approach the 2023 general election.
I'm not just here to get listed as somebody who once served in the House. I'm here to write my name. I'm here to make a mark. I'm here to do something that my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren will benefit from, in the sense that people will look at them and honor them because of what I am doing here. And when I started, somebody said, I hope history would be fair to you. I said, why not? Because I'm going to write the history myself with my performance. So this final year of the first tenure is the time I'm going to put in more vigor to ensure that everything I did in the first 3 years, I do them much better, and ensure that my people will be able to have a good comparative analysis when I have done as many tenures as God permits and I've left this seat. It will become the standard for benchmark for judging performance. But more importantly, I'm a Christian, and the Christian ethics require that in your work, you serve God in your work. So the way you serve God in church and all that, the same truthfulness, the same effort, the same zeal, the same commitment, the same values that you bring to work.
In the past 3 years, Honorable Waive has sponsored a total of 36 bills and several motions on the floor of the House of Representatives. A good number of the bills attracted national attention. These include the bill to exempt members of the Nigerian police force from the contributory pension scheme like their counterparts in the military, the bill to decriminalize suicide by abolishing the 1-year jail term for those who attempt suicide, but rather provide psychosocial support for such persons, amendment of the CBN Act to separate the office of the board chairman from that of the governor, the Anti-Kidnapping and Hostage-Taking Bill. Other bills by Honorable Waive include those for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery Ejiroghene, Federal Medical Center Onya, ensuring concurrence in the passage of the bill for the establishment of the Federal Polytechnic Orogun, sponsored by indefatigable Deputy Senate President, which has now been signed into law by Mr. President. National Infrastructure Development Bill and amendment bills affecting the following: Bank Employees Act, Films and Video Censors Board Act, Legal Practitioner Act, and the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act. Waive's contribution to the debate on the Water Resources Bill went viral and aided the House in its final decision. He was part of the group of honorable members that advocated for justice for alleged killings during the EndSARS protest. His voice has been strong and clear on the need to sack the non-performing security chiefs, practice community policing and fiscal federalism, moderate government borrowings, and reform local government elections. Honorable Francis Ejiroghene Waive continues to participate in various standing and ad hoc committees of the House, traversing the nation on oversight duties. And this has paid off well for our people, especially in the House Committee on Power, where he served as Deputy Chairman. He has used the clout of the office for the benefit of our people. Several communities that had been off the national grid for several years were reconnected as a direct result of his efforts. These include Okolo, Ekrota, Okpahere, Ujewu in Udu local government area, as well as Agboguyame, Erunware, Obiayaga, Otoedo, Okobaru Palace, JFM Radio and Ukwawa in Ughelli South local government area. The case of Agbaro Toy in Ughelli North received applause among our people. DSC Township in Udu local government is set to be reconnected in a matter of days. Olomuklan is also coming up. This is no mean feat. Each one of these communities have been without electricity for a minimum of 5 years, with some as high as 10 years. Honorable Waive also facilitated the supply and installation of transformers at the following locations: 4 per local government area: Ughelli North local government area, New Agric Layout Phase 2, Agbaro Town, Irema Roaro Town, Uduowori Street, Otowodo Town, Imoniyame Street, Egrejebo, Ughelli South local government area, Move Ahead Street, Otokutu Town, Gas Grace Church Road, Otokutu Town, Jofajo Layout, Usiefru Town, Ato Street off Okwemo Road, opposite Okwagbe Secondary School, Okwagbe Town, Udu local government area, John Togo Street off Usiefru Road, Oruworu Town, Old Egiegi Road, Ujewu Town, Smart Dara Street off Utwama Layout, Udu Road, Onya Community Entrance Junction. Honorable Waive also facilitated the supply and installation of solar street lights at the following locations: Ughelli North local government area, Agbaro Market/Palace Road, Agadama Town, Uweru Clan, Ughelli South local government area, Obiayaga Town, Otujeremi Town Square, Efroto and Agboguyame Towns, Udu local government area, Express Junction Oya, Oruworu Roundabout. On road construction, Waive facilitated the construction of Barrister Ejiroghene Street in Otokutu Town. He cut the tape to commission this completed project early in 2022. Waive also facilitated the construction of solar mini grids in Ukparibe Town, as well as in Ekakbamre Health Center, Ekakbamre. The primary health care center, which is the busiest in Ughelli South local government area, now enjoys 24/7 electricity supply. Meanwhile, Imode and Agbagere communities in Ughelli Clan and Ofrukama, Orere, and other Ewuriye communities have benefited from Waive's facilitated solar home system, wherein each home gets an independent solar system complete with panels, batteries, and inverter. Honorable Waive facilitated construction and furnishing of blocks of new classrooms across the constituency as follows: Ughelli North local government area, block of 12 classrooms and 4 toilets at Eserove Primary School, Ughelli, block of 6 classrooms at Agbaro Grammar School, Agbaro, block of 6 classrooms at Igbuku Primary School, Igbuku Orogun, block of 4 classrooms at Ekugbo Grammar School, Ekugbo, Ughelli South local government area, renovation of a block of classrooms at Ewu Grammar School, Ewu, construction of blocks of 3 classrooms each at Otokutu Primary School and 4 classrooms at Otokutu Secondary School, Otokutu, Udu local government area, block of 2 classrooms at Ebire Primary School, Alagya. As the impact of the lockdown became evident on livelihoods, Waive donated foodstuffs, several bags of beans, garri and rice worth millions of naira to women across the constituency. He also made huge cash donations to each of the 3 local government administrations in the constituency to support their efforts in assisting worst-hit families. Waive's intervention brought relief materials worth several millions of naira during the flood to several affected communities in the constituency. Relief materials worth over 100 million naira were also delivered publicly in several articulated trucks to victims of the herdsmen attack in Uweru Clan, Ughelli North local government area. Items delivered include 600 bags of cement, 600 bundles of zinc, 257 bags each of rice, beans and garri, 257 pieces of wax print and Guinea brocade, 514 pieces each of mattresses and blankets, 170 packets of zinc nails, 85 bags of 3 inches nails, 50 cartons each of toilet soap, detergents, Maggi seasoning, and 30 kegs of tomato paste, 30 kegs of vegetable oil. Within the 3 years, over 300 persons from the constituency received the COVID cash disbursement through efforts of consultants that Honorable Waive engaged. Another 200 plus got FGN/CBN and SME loans and grants through efforts of same consultants. Also, Waive's empowerment program has been seen as over 300 beneficiaries smile home with various cash sums, while 6 persons got vehicles, 28 got motorcycles, 38 got sewing machines, 15 got laptops, 3 got generators, 2 got 3 grinding machines, and 1 refrigerator. During the last year, Waive distributed educational materials to pupils and students of 1 public school each in the 32 wards of the constituency. Beneficiaries got notebooks, school bags, writing materials, and lots more. He also secured slots for several young graduates, engineers in the distribution companies, discos, and other placements in government agencies and the security outfits. The federal lawmaker also got some slots for a number of clergymen for pilgrimage to the Holy Land during the first half of his first tenure. Besides regularly paying school fees, house rent, hospital bills, marriage or burial support, Waive has made donations worth millions of naira to several churches, law enforcement and corporate organizations within the constituency.
This final tenure, in the aspect of lawmaking, that's exactly what I'm going to do, to ensure that some of the bills that have crossed second reading committee stage, they get on to be signed into law and be passed by the House eventually, and then a concurrence in the Senate, and Mr. President signs into law. For example, the bill that I sponsored that, previously attempted suicide, you go for 1 year jail. Now we are changing that to say the person who does such a thing will rather go for psychosocial counseling. And that passed very speedily. It was not really, no more jail term for that. So that particular one, I'm going to pursue it and make sure it's signed into law. There's another one that increases the penalty for bank fraud so that customers will go to sleep when you put your money in the bank. It's also past second reading. We're going to pursue that. There's the one on the police, exempting the police from the pension scheme. It's in committee stage now.
Marking his 3rd anniversary at the Green Chambers, Honorable Waive expressed gratitude to God and the people of his constituency, the leaders and members of the APC for giving him the opportunity to serve.
My plan is to, one, my bills that have progressed to second reading and above, I want to make sure that they are passed by the House. That's my plan on the area of lawmaking. I am not going to concentrate on bringing new bills, but those bills that have crossed second reading or in committee stage, 3rd reading, I want to ensure that they are passed in this 4th legislative year of this 9th Assembly. That's on the aspect of lawmaking. On the aspect of infrastructure for my people, I have been able to reach a lot of wards. Out of the 32 wards, I have reached over 20 with infrastructure, classrooms, solar light projects, yes, transformers, and so on and so forth. The remaining ones, about 10 of them, I will ensure that I leave my footprints in them in this final year in terms of infrastructure. So those wards that are not yet reached, they can be sure that my footprint will be there. That's in the aspect of infrastructure. And of course, the final thing is to ensure that I win the election and come back here and do a second term. I've always said, and it's a slogan for my campaign this time, one good tenure deserves another.
Speaking on the 3rd year anniversary of Honorable Francis Waive at the House of Representatives, 81-year-old Professor Samuel Iboje scored him above 70%. Professor Iboje said the 3 years of Honorable Waive at the Great Chambers have had a great blessing to the people of the Ueli Udu Federal Constituency.
I think Waive, as a first timer in the House, has done well. The videos when he came to give his midterm report, videos of his activities in the House, the confidence with which he talked in the House, the coherence with which he presented his positions, and the way he was mentioning the constituency that he represents in the House. We are adequate enough to give him credit as a representative. And when you come to the issue of being a bridge between the constituency and the House where he's doing the representation, he has done it better than other people who have gone before him.
The President General of Agbaro Improvement Development Union, Chief Igo Odifri, and Agbaro Tor Kingdom, Chief Daniel Ojo, said Honorable Waive has surpassed expectations in the last 3 years at the National Assembly. Chief Odifri and Chief Ojo praised him for his accessibility and availability to attend to the needs of his people.
Reverend Waive, who is in the House of Reps, has given us effect for his representation. DSP equally is doing that because they hardly separate from each other. The transformers, the street lights, even as we are talking, more street lights have been brought in. Some are going to Pyramid, some are going to WARRI, and then Uyamuge and Uyama, which the contractor has been brought to me. Soon, in the next few days or few weeks, they will start work. If you go through Equity Road now, you see lights, solar lights, and so also. All the other communities are doing before. These are the balanced community that has not got, which they sent in. And that I must commend. It's really commendable. I think we felt the impact of representation this time.
It's very good to everybody in the constituency, and he has been carrying everybody along. Whenever you have any problem or difficulties, if you call on him, he always gives you aid immediately. He answers you, and we follow it up until such a thing is achieved. So I can say that these 3 years in office, he has tried a lot to everyone, most especially in Agbara Kingdom. He tried.
All right, sir. Has it done something specific to Agbara people in these last 3 years that will make people to remember him for his representation?
Yes. Before now, before I come to President General, Agbara people has no light for the past 5 years. We have been complaining, but when we call on him, he come. And at initial time, when the NEPA demanded money, he helped us with some amount of money so that we can get the light. After paying that, the light is not forthcoming. He now moved by himself to Benin, and through that process, he moved them to come to this community, to come to Agbara, to make sure they store light for us. And actually, the light was stored, and we have light, and he himself come. I was there when we commissioned the light at that time. So through him, we got light. If not him, for the past 5 years, we would have not get anything like light. So I thank him for doing that to my kingdom, to Agbara people. And I believe we all welcome him, and we still pray for him that very particular time, that by his grace we retain his position back, which he retained through God's mercy.
For the President General of Otokoto, Chief John Waive, the legislative and oversight achievements the member representing the Ueli Udu constituency in the last 3 years have overshadowed the performance of his predecessors in the constituency.
I promise him before today that we will always be in his support, 100% support.
Madam Janet Soje said the first time in the history of the federal constituency, the people are feeling the real impact of having a member at the House of Representatives.
As a teacher, I think since 2016, when I teach children for school, in fact, my brothers and sisters, but you know, sweet me like that, oh, now all of our energy when they use, because that time, no classrooms for people to sit down. We go pack children about 80 for one classroom. But when Waive, Ejiroghene represent us for Ugele North, Ugele South, and the two concepts, I know say teaching was sweet for body. Make I start with school aspect. When Waive entered the place, so 2020 to 2021, major schools in Ugele here and Udu and Ugele South, they enjoy, the children they enjoy. Now, for classroom aspect, what you mentioned they enjoy, the teachers, he construct 6 classroom blocks for Agbaro Grammar School. He did there, not the story. Now Agbaro me come from. He put 6 classrooms for Agbaro Grammar School. He put 12 classrooms, modern classroom for Ejiroghene Primary School. If you read there now, the children they journey there, they learn well. He put 3 classrooms for Otokoto Primary School. He put 4 classrooms for Otokoto Grammar School. He put they were not going to mention. Even for Okwagbe, he put 5 classrooms there. Now, if na region, I could see them. Then school aspect, there are many on a few that they cancel. Make we come for solar light. Solar light in Agbaro. If you go to that Agbaro junction, 5 junction, he put solar light there. If you go, that now Ugele North, if you go for Udu, if you reach there, that express junction, if they don't reach 1 o'clock, you go to say they just a break, but you go to switch to say make the work out for 9. Even at Omnia community, if you put street lights there, solar lights there, it's not good for us, my people. Make we measure for few.
President of the Delta Baptist Providence, Reverend Jonathan Tinker, who are fellow clerics with Honorable Waive, the federal lawmaker in the last 3 years has made the Christian body in the constituency a beyond proud through his effective and unblemished representation.
That he's done a very good job. In the last 3 years, he's been representing us in the Federal House of Representatives. We are proud of him. The church is proud of Waive. As an individual, I'm proud of him. The Baptist people are proud of him. And we are just praying for him that God will use him more. And I've had testimonies of what he's doing in different communities, in different places, using his influence and office to bring development to us. And I'm sincerely grateful to God for him. I'm praying to God to use him more and to give him more opportunities to serve Nigeria, to serve the kingdom of God, to serve society at large, which he's already doing. We are only praying for God to use him more.
Honorable Francis Waive has just secured a ticket of the All Progressive Congress APC as its candidate for the House of Representatives in the 2023 elections, and there are massive support for him to complete the first tenure and continue beyond 2023.